All right. Good afternoon, everyone. So thank you so much for taking the time to be here today. First, I want to congratulate you all in the audience, whether you're attending right now in real time or seeing this virtually over YouTube. Just as you approach graduation in less than a month, I can't believe it's already less than a month till graduation. Such an exciting time. So we are beginning our senior week programming today. With still job searching, what to do next. So know that you are not alone. If you're attending this webinar or viewing it later, if you're still doing that job search. Tomorrow, we're going to have things I wish I knew before starting my first job, presented by one of our alumni mentors. And this is just a friendly reminder to complete or update your senior survey today. So that's important data that we're collecting to make sure that you stay in touch with the university if you would like to. So again, today, we're kicking off our programming with still job searching, what to do next. And we have Holly here from Alumni Career Services. The presentation will be recorded and available on our YouTube channel after its completion. And I encourage you all to ask as many questions as you would like. We have an expert in our midst. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Holly.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining me today. I'm gonna share my screen and then we will get started. All right, Lauren, do we look good?
We are good to go.
Okay, fantastic. So hello everyone, as Lauren mentioned, my name is Holly Stoltzfus. I'm the Assistant Director in Alumni Career Services. And thank you for attending Still Searching Strategies to Land Your First Full-Time Job. And congratulations on your upcoming graduation. Very exciting time. And I'm sure many of you are excited to that new chapter coming up. During the presentation, Lauren's going to be monitoring the chat. And if you have any questions, feel free to respond in the chat or ask questions. And then at the end, you can either use the Q&A feature or you can use the chat and we'll be responding to those questions. So let's get started. I want to begin by giving you an overview of Alumni Career Services and how our office can assist you with your job search after graduation. We'll talk about how to identify your goals and how to demonstrate your value to an employer, explain how employers fill job vacancies to gain an understanding of their perspective on hiring. And then we'll talk about tips on networking, and then I'll do some demo on our networking resources on LionLink and LinkedIn. From the day you graduate until you're ready to retire, you have access to Penn State Alumni Career Services. Our office is located at the Bank of America Career Services building next to Eisenhower parking deck and the University Health Services building. Our services are similar to career services. The major difference is really that our services are provided virtually to serve our alumni living all around the world. We do host regional networking events. Typically, we have where there is a large population of Penn Staters. So some cities will be hosting this spring and summer include Pittsburgh on May 18th. We'll be down in DC in June. Philly is to be determined, and then we'll be in San Diego in July to do some regional events. And they mostly consist of networking with Penn Staters, usually at a restaurant or a bar, and usually have a small presentation. The best way to connect with our office is by emailing alumni career at psu.edu or phoning us at 814-865-5465. And if Lauren can add that to the chat, that would be great. When you graduate, you will receive a gratis or a free membership from the Penn State Alumni Association for a year. This entitles you to all services provided by our office, and it includes things like review of employment documents such as resumes, CVs, and cover letters, as well as your LinkedIn profile and graduate school documents. We offer job search webinars every Wednesday at noon. Topics we focus on are resume writing, networking, relationship building, and using LinkedIn. They're offered on a rotating networking events, panel discussions, and topics on professional development. All this information can be found on our upcoming events page and on our Alumni Career Services website. As a new grad, I would encourage you to register for our job search tune-up program. It's a program that provides access to curated and self-directed job search resources. The program is set up for anyone that is interested in working independently or in a small group. For those who prefer to work in a group environment, monthly webinars are offered that will allow you to engage in live chat sessions about the latest career trends and best practices for finding a job. For those of you who prefer to work independently, all materials are organized into modules, allowing you to customize your experience that best fosters your learning style. So I'm going to ask a question in the chat. My question is, when you're doing a job search, what is the first step to find a job? What do you do? What is the first step? Looks like go to LinkedIn, use a job search site. Good ideas. Anyone else? Build a resume. Well, actually, most people think the first step in looking for a job is to create a resume. A resume is only one tool you'll need for your job search. The first step is to identify your career goal. Some of you may know what you may want to do and have a career goal, and some of you may not, and that's okay. If you're unsure of what you'd like to be doing, there are a number of different resources and tools to assist you. Online career self-assessment tools such as My Next Move or iSeek are two of many career exploration tools that you can check out. Career counselors, advisors, instructors can work with you to explore options and discuss your interests. You can also do your research by simply Googling, what does an economist do? What does a psychologist do? This will provide you with good information and some good resources. Another good idea is to have a conversation with someone working in a job that interests you. You will be able to they will be able to speak to what's happening right now in their industry and what a typical day looks like by conducting an informational interview. For those of you that are not familiar with the term informational interview, let me show you what that looks like. Informational interviews are designed to enable you, the person seeking information, to ask questions of someone who has currently or previously worked in a position, organization, or industry that you're interested in. The first step is to identify people that you would like to interview. Maybe you already have some people in mind you'd like to reach out to and find more information from. Consider friends of your parents, parents of your friends, Penn State alumni, classmates, former internship site supervisors, basically anyone you can think of that may be able to provide you with information. Second, your second step should be that ask for an interview. To do this, you're going to want to prepare a concise, direct email with your ask. Next, you're going to prepare questions. Think about what you want to learn from this person and write down 10 questions that you can draw upon to get the conversation started. I would encourage you to take notes during the presentation, during the interview, so that you can remember their responses. Always ask them if there's anyone else you'd recommend I speak with. This will allow you to gather more information and expand your network. Lastly, you're going to follow up with them. Just like in a regular interview, send the person a thank you email or a handwritten note to thank them for their time and insight. If they refer you to another contact or pass along your resume, keep them posted on your job search status. In the next few slides, I'm going to show you what that ask looks like, because you can use this technique for a few different things. Talking about identifying those goals. Identifying your goals will help you develop a more strategic, targeted job search and communicate your interest and skills to a potential employer. The second reason why identifying your goals is important is to make sure you have everything you need to achieve your goal. When you're looking at your goals, you want to think about, are you missing any skills, experience, or credentials that's preventing you from achieving that goal? For example, perhaps your career goal is to be a social worker. When looking at a job posting, do you meet the requirements? Do you have enough experience? What about knowledge and skills? Are there technical or language skills you're missing? Do you need to take a course or receive specialized training? Social work typically requires strong communication and interpersonal skills and effective problem-solving abilities. Do you possess those qualities and skills? The key here is really to identify what the missing piece or pieces are that are preventing you from achieving your goal and how you're going to fill in those gaps. Keep in mind, your ideal job may not be your first job out of college. You may need to gain some experience at a related job or even volunteer. You may need to get another degree or certification. What is important to remember is that your first job is not necessarily your ideal job, but rather a stepping stone to move you in the direction to achieve that final goal. We just covered what you may be missing. Let's talk about what you have to offer and what sets you apart as a liberal arts graduate. You have what many employers are looking for. In career services, there's an organization that we belong to. It's called NACE. It is the National Association of Colleges Employers. They have conducted a study and found that some of the top skills employers are seeking in candidates directly align with a liberal arts education. Let's take a look. Employers are seeking candidates with good communication skills, ability to work in a team, interpersonal skills, problem-solving skills, analytical and quantitative skills, flexibility and adaptability. These are all the skills that a liberal arts education prepares you for. Those skills listed above are often referred to as soft skills. Soft skills are personality traits and behaviors that are non-technical. This is where you will shine. The key is to communicate these skills on your resume during an interview and when you're networking. Let's start with communicating your skills and experience on your resume and during the interview. Do you remember show and tell in kindergarten or preschool? Think of writing your resume and interviewing as show and tell job search version. On your resume, show them what you can do. When viewing a job posting, really take time to understand what the job entails and what experience and skills the employer is seeking. Think about what skills and experience you have that are written in the job posting. Employers and recruiters spend an average of 6 to 7 seconds looking at your resume. They're skimming for words and phrases from the job posting. Make sure you're mirroring those words, keywords on your resume. Keep in mind the information on your resume doesn't just have to come from a job or an internship. It can be skills and experience gained from a volunteer or leadership experience, or even a class project. Also remember to include those soft skills or attributes we just mentioned employers value. For example, let's say an employer is looking for someone to write grants. Think about what goes into someone that is a grant writer. Things like research, writing, organization, communication skills. These are the skills you should be listing on your resume and skills that you've likely developed as a liberal arts major. Next, this is the tell part. It's important to effectively communicate or tell the employer why you are a strong candidate for the position. To be successful during an interview, you must be prepared. Start by researching it and learning about the company or organization. Find out what their mission statement is. Understand what they do and learn about their products. Think about the skills and experience you have that the company is looking for and be able to talk about those skills and give examples. I would also encourage you to practice responses to commonly asked interview questions like, tell me about yourself, or why are you interested in this position? You may also want to participate in a mock interview to better prepare for that upcoming interview. As a job seeker, it's important to understand how employers fill job vacancies. Employers fill job vacancies the same way you and I would look for someone to house sit, babysit, or perhaps pet sit. Let's say you're going away for the weekend and you need someone to watch your pet. How do you find someone? So in the chat, tell me, if you were going away for the weekend and you needed a pet sitter, how do you find one? So in the chat, you're going away for the weekend. You ask a close friend. Good. Any other ideas? Post something on social media outlets. It's another idea. Family. All right, I'm seeing a little bit of a trend here. Employers hire people they know and trust because there is less risk involved, similar to how you would hire someone to watch your pet. So I want you to think about this. You would hire someone, most likely, that you know and you trust. It's the same thing employers do. When an employer posts a job and they fill a vacancy, it's a lot of time, it's a lot of money, it's a lot of resources. They want to make sure that that fit is going to work for them and their company. When an employer has an open position, they first consider anyone they have within the organization. So if the position's open, they look for people within their company to fill that. And maybe that gives them one or two candidates. If they can't identify anyone, they start asking people within the organization whom they know and trust. If they know of anyone that could possibly fill that position, that would be a good candidate, be a good fit for the company. And that may garner a few more candidates, creating a small candidate pool. Maybe like, I don't know, three to five people that they may consider for that position. Next, if no one is identified or the employer would like a larger pool of candidates, they're likely to start checking LinkedIn for potential candidates that have the skills and experience they need, which becomes a little bit more of a risk to the employer because that person is unknown to them and other people as well. The next phase of finding a candidate begins to get costly, and it comes with an additional risk. And sometimes that requires hiring a recruiter. The candidates are unknown and the pool will become more crowded. And at that point, it gets more competitive. The risk for the employer is much higher. The last step is posting on a job board. At this point, candidates are unknown and risks are heightened. By understanding how employers fill positions helps you understand where to put more effort and time into your job search, What strategies are going to produce the best results for you? So this is why we focus on everybody's favorite topic, networking. Understanding how employers fill vacancies helps us understand the value in networking. Networking is the #1 way to find opportunities. You can expand your network by getting involved in community and professional organizations and attending events. You can reach out to friends, friends of friends, former supervisors, friends of your parents, and Penn Staters. Essentially, you can network with anyone. I know people that I've worked with in the past that have gotten job offers by simply chatting with someone in the grocery store. And my husband was able to land a job by a connection he had made several years ago when he took our kids to the park. You can network with anyone, anywhere. And when we're talking about networking, networking is not asking someone for a job. Networking is growing and cultivating relationships where your shared interests and with shared interests and resources. It's mutually beneficial. People in your network can be your greatest advertisement. They may help by letting you know of positions available, introducing you to other people, and providing you with advice. Remember, it is a relationship that is reciprocal. It's important to offer them resources, your time and talents as well. This is a good example of what a networking message should look like. And this is the same for when we were talking about informational interviewing. It's the same type of note or message that you can send someone. So just looking at this example that I put together. So I'm reaching out to Amy. She's a fellow Penn Stater. So hi, Amy, I'm a fellow Penn Stater. And I came across your profile. I graduated in 2010 with a degree in marketing and have been working in the PR industry for the last 7 years. Recently, my partner was offered a job in the Chicago area and I will be relocating with him in the spring. I am currently job hunting and looking for opportunities in Lincoln Park. Our backgrounds are similar, and I was wondering if you might be willing to offer some advice or perhaps chat by phone. I would really appreciate your time. And then thank you and sending the note. So this is what, after you've identified someone that you'd like to connect with, the next step is really the ask. And this is the ask. This is an example that states your commonality, that you're both Penn Staters, and it briefly explains why you're reaching out. It states your ask, what you would like, what you would want, and a thank you. After someone has responded to your message, you'll need to prepare some questions for your conversation. To prepare your questions, think about what you want to learn from this person. Prepare questions that you can draw upon to get the conversation started. Questions should be focused and professional. Avoid asking any type of personal questions. And also, again, make notes of the conversation. That will help you follow up with that person. And as mentioned on the previous slide, networking is reciprocal. Ask them for what you can do for them. You're also, again, touching base every now and then. Remember, networking is a relationship, building a relationship and cultivating that relationship. So what I'd like to do now is I'm going to share a few networking sites that we use frequently in Alumni Career Services. One, which is LionLink. And LionLink is available to you today. It is, if you've never used it, it's for both students and alumni. LionLink is very similar to LinkedIn, but it's exclusively for Penn Staters. And the unique thing about LionLink is that you can message within the system, and you do not need to be a close contact. You do not need to be connected with them. So let me take a break here from the slides, and I'm going to share my screen with you in LionLink. So bear with me, because I was talking to Lauren a little bit, that when I'm in the office, which I am today, my my screens flip. So let me see if we can get you here.
While you're doing that, Holly, I just want to mention because everyone in the audience being a graduating senior, you are all welcome after you graduate to join the Liberal Arts Alumni Mentor Program as a mentor, to mentor current students going in like over the summer after you've graduated, mentoring students who are in liberal arts. And the way to find that and the way to join that is through Lion Link. So not only with what Holly's going to go through when it comes to just general networking will be really helpful, but if you're looking to give back to the university, you can also do that through the mentor program. It's really rewarding. So I'll let you take it from here, Holly.
Okay, great. So Lauren, are you seeing my Lion Link page?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So everyone, this is my landing page. You'll be, if you do not have a Lion Link account, you're going to be prompted to create an account. And since you are a student, you can just use your Penn State email address. It's single sign-on. So what I want to show you specifically, Lion Link does a number of different things. And as I had mentioned, it's very similar to LinkedIn. But what I want to point out specifically for networking purposes, this browse feature that we have, if I click on that, it is going to show me all of our contacts, all of our Lion Link users. So it's a little slow. It's Monday. It's still waking up. Okay. So right now we've got 11,600 active users. Say, for example, that I'm looking for someone to connect with to do an informational interview, or if it's someone I just want to ask some questions, just start strengthening my network. I can find them on here by simply applying some filters. So for this example, I'm going to start with the location. So maybe I'm interested in moving to Pittsburgh. I was just there over the weekend. So let's do that. So I'm going to apply that filter first. It will show me that I have 532. I don't know if they're Pittsburghians, or I'm not sure what what people that live in Pittsburgh are called. If anyone knows, let me put that in the chat. I'm curious. Next, we're going to look at maybe a major. For this example, I'm going to just put in economics, apply that. And then looks like I've got 943 with those two filters. I'm going to just add one more, which I think is really important, user types. I'm happy to connect with students, but really for this, the information I'm looking for, I think alumni will probably have better information for me because I'm looking to find out about specific jobs. I'll apply that. And you can use as many or as few filters as you would like. So it looks like it gave me about 16 matches. So I'm just gonna, these are, like I said, it looks very similar to LinkedIn. And I'm going to check to see who I think would be someone good to connect with just by looking at maybe specific companies to get let me click on Kimberly. She's an informatics analyst. So I'm going into Kimberly's profile, and you'll notice that it has the about section. Take a look at that, which she's monitor quality and operational performance of 50+ cardiovascular programs. Okay, and what she does in her free time is look for coffee in the Pittsburgh area. I'm going to look and see what company she works for, and this will give me her job history and her education history. And then what I want to show you specifically, when you're completing your LionLink account, it will ask you if there are topics that you're interested in helping with. So this is Kimberly's list of topics she's happy to help with. So if you would, she's interested in attending networking events, choosing her major. So that would be someone that if you have a degree in economics or in whatever your major is, and maybe that'd be something you can talk with her about. You can also learn about transferable skills as a student. And she's also introductions to others in my field. That may be helpful for you when you're networking. And also she's agreed to do a LinkedIn profile review, some good things in here. And then it will show you what industries she's in: healthcare, public health, medicine, when she graduated, and her any information that she feels is relevant is in her profile. So if I find Kimberly and anyone else on LionLink that I think would be a great source of information, I can connect with them. So I'm going to send Kimberly a message, clicking on that. And what's really nice about this, our People Grove, that's our vendor, they have created these really nice kind of templates to help us write our letter to Kimberly. I don't encourage you to use this exactly, but I think it's good to use as a guide to help you create your letter. There's a career exploration example, expand my network, which is probably what we would like. And then maybe it's someone that you knew at Penn State or in a previous time. You could use that template. But either way, this helps you kind of write that letter to them. And it even adds your name at the bottom. So you can use this, and then it's just like an email. So you're sending it, and then that will go to Kimberly. You can also request a meeting with her. So I'm going to hit request a meeting. And what it will do is provide a schedule and choose an upcoming time that maybe Kimberly's available. So, maybe on Wednesday, I'll see if she's available. And then you can choose between a phone call, video, in person. May want to do a video call. Duration. I don't want to take too much of her time because I'm assuming most of us are really busy. 15 minutes. And then eventually I hit request a meeting, and then I will send Kimberly my message and then meet with her. So just kind of wanted to review what this looks like. This is a great way to really network to get started. And I would encourage you to reach out to a number of people because there are some people that are more active on LionLink, just like they are on LinkedIn, and some that are not. So I really encourage you to reach out to a number of people, gather some information. This will be a great way to learn more about a field you're interested in, and also start expanding that network, because we've learned that's how employers hire. They hire people they know or they trust. And having this Penn State connection kind of gives you that commonality and something to really talk about. So there's this. And then also in LionLink, we also have some great resources in here. Projects. This is something that is new in our office that I wanted to show you. This is something I'm actually heading. Projects, they are experiential learning opportunities that our alumni will post 2 or 3 times a year. That you are able to go in and look at these postings. Like this specifically is for a video editing and social media position. If you go into this, let me see, it will show you what the description is of this particular project. And with projects, it is a project you can complete in 10 to 40 hours. And you have anywhere from 2 to 10 weeks to complete that project, and you work alongside an alum. And this is something that they are creating. It looks very similar to a job description. And it also will allow you some really good experience to be adding to your resume. So we are currently in the midst of our pilot that we've launched. We are going to be asking alumni to post more projects for students and recent graduates at the end of this month. So look for some information on LionLink projects. As I said, this will give you some good work experience. Next, there's also a discussion, which is very similar to what you would see on LionLink or LinkedIn, excuse me, too many links and lions. We have a resources section that you can take a look at that has webinars that we have had that we previously presented, and then there are recordings in there. And then also there are different resources about salary, going global, Indeed, there's resume resources, cover letters, all sorts of things in here. And then we have an events platform that we're just getting started with, but there are some webinars that are coming up. On Thursday, we have a networking art of building authentic relationships that you're more than welcome to attend, get signed up for. So that is the gist of what I wanted to show you with LionLink. And I'm just watching my time to see, I believe I have a little bit more time that I want to show you LinkedIn. LinkedIn has what we refer to as the Alumni Tool. So let me see if I can find that quickly. And okay, yeah, jumped onto LinkedIn. Lauren, are you saying LinkedIn for me?
Yes, I am. And I actually just posted the LinkedIn alumni search right in the chat, Holly, if that's easier for you.
Perfect. So again, this is very similar to what I just showed you using that browse feature. It is called the Alumni Tool. And Lauren, do you even know if that's like the official name of it? We've always
I don't think so. I call it like the alumni search feature.
Okay.
There are over 400,000 of them that you can search through. So
all right. Our office refers to it as the Alumni Tool. So let me show you what that looks like. So this is my LinkedIn profile, my homepage. If I want to find alumni that I can network with, what I'm going to do is go into my profile page here. Let me go. Okay, I'm in here. What I will do is go down to your Penn State icon. If I click on that, it is going to take me to all things Penn State University. It will show about Penn State. There's going to be job postings here, posts from Penn State, videos, alumni. The alumni is honestly what I'm most interested in for when I talk about the Alumni Tool. So I'm going to click on that. And very similar to what I was showing you, as I mentioned, the browse feature. But LinkedIn is obviously much larger. So according to LinkedIn, we have 452,000 plus alumni that use LinkedIn. You'll notice this is similar to what we were looking at. And what I can do is I need to narrow this down a little because 452 alumni profiles are a little too many for me to be sorting through. So for example, I'm going to just start left to right, looking at different areas. So perhaps I'm looking for jobs in Austin, Texas. I'm going to click on that. One thing I like to look at is, okay, I'm in Austin, Texas. What employers am I do Penn Staters work at in Austin? Noticing Obviously, Dell has a huge number, they have a number of different buildings in and around Austin. University of Texas, Apple, IBM, Oracle. Let's just go into Dell. Okay, so that narrows it down a little bit to 87, but that's still quite a few people I want to sift through. So what I can do is look at a few more filters. This will tell me what those 87 Penn Staters do. So maybe I'm interested in human resources. That will help narrow my search a little bit here. And what I'm looking for is people that I have connections with, for example, in different shared connections. Because that's going to make it a little easier for me to connect with someone. And I'll show you how I do that. So I'm going to click on Joelle. And let's see. She's a senior advisor, program manager, logistics procurement at Dell Technologies. And I'm going to look at the people I'm connected with. I'm like, oh, I used to work with Sean Knight for a number of years. So what I'm going to do, instead of just saying connect, I'm going to send a message to my friend Sean, who's my former colleague, and let him know my situation and say, you know, Sean, I'm looking at jobs in Austin, Texas, and I noticed that you were connected on LinkedIn to Joelle Darby. Would you be willing to make an introduction for me? That is the best way to connect with someone, because you're not just clicking connect. Since Joelle knows Sean, she's connected to Sean, and Sean knows me, we look back at that networking, that how employers hire triangle. Okay. Remember, if you know someone, if someone knows you know someone, if you have some connection with them, that puts you in a better position to not only potentially do an informational interview with them, but also expand that network, get to know more about the company. Perhaps when there is a job opportunity, that will give you a leg up a little bit for that position. So what I'm going to do, reach out to my friend Sean and say, hey, Sean, would you be willing to do an introduction for me? And it's off of LinkedIn. That's the key. If you can get an introduction outside of LinkedIn, perfect. So in this case, Sean knows me very well. You know, Sean could write an email saying, hey, Joelle, I'd like you to introduce you to, you know, Holly Stoltzfus. I worked with her, you know, XYZ, and she's moving to the area, and she just has some questions about working in HR. And I was wondering if you could possibly take some time to meet with her. And that, you know, Sean's also copying me on that email. And then that is connecting me with Joelle. That is the best way to build that relationship and to start that relationship. Another way to do is, you know, and you're obviously young in your career, you may not have as many connections. So the other thing you can do, if you can't find any person that you're connected with or that has a mutual connection, you can connect with them, and that's fine. But before you do, send them a message. Don't just hit connect and because they don't know you at all. But if you send a message similar to the example that we talked about, and just introducing yourself as, you know, I'm a fellow Penn Stater. I'm interested in, you know, I'm going to be moving to the Austin area. Noticed you worked for Dell. I'm not asking for a job at Dell, but I'm asking for some information, maybe about the area, maybe a little bit about the company, different companies in the area. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to build that relationship. That's, again, networking is the best way to go. All right, so that's essentially the alumni tool and how you use it. And again, this is also a great way to, if you are looking at different companies, to learn about what companies exist in that particular area. I think that's helpful. And there's just a number of different ways you can use this, but I use this quite frequently when I'm trying to track someone down for a networking event or for various reasons. I'd encourage you to use this, and every school uses this. If you have a degree from another school, you can click on their alumni page or their alumni tool and use the same process. All right. So I am going to stop talking at this point and I'm going to open it to questions. Stop my share. So Lauren, do we have any questions?
All right, it does not look like we have any questions yet. I'll give it a minute or two. I guess to start off, Holly, just to kind of kick it off, I'm wondering if I hear from a lot of students when I'm doing career coaching how intimidating it can be, like doing that cold outreach on LinkedIn. So I'm wondering if you have any like tips or advice on how to go about reaching out to alumni.
So I would encourage you to get your feet wet with using LionLink. The alumni that are using LionLink have opted in to help students and other alumni. So they expect to be contacted. So you're not reaching out blindly. They know why they're on there. And usually they have really, really good information and are a great, great resource. So get yourself, like I said, get your feet wet that way first. Another thing I would suggest is hopefully we're going to be able to do some things that are more face-to-face. We're hoping. So what I would encourage you to do is volunteer at an event, because what happens with that is other people attending the event will need to approach you. And I think that's the hard part, is really approaching someone, because we get a little nervous. But if we have people actually seeking us out, because maybe they need, if you're at a registration table and you're handing out name tags, they have to come and get their name tag. So I think that's a really good way to put yourself in a situation where people are approaching you. I think that's a little less intimidating. I also would encourage you just to practice. It takes a little bit of time. I know when I'm working with someone, I'll actually have someone use a script and kind of memorize it a little bit. For example, when you go to a career fair, that's the same, you're doing that networking. Now you're going in, the intent is to get an interview, for a potential job opportunity, but it's also a networking opportunity. So I think going in and having that elevator speech, that 30 or 60-second pitch on what you're looking for, what your background is just helpful, and memorizing that a little bit, because it helps you just get a little more comfortable and confident. So it's that whole practice. It's tough. It's not easy. When someone says networking to me, it makes me almost cringe, because I'm an introvert. But if I look at it as just, it's a conversation you're having with someone, an intentional conversation. I think that's, I don't know if it's just the word used. I know sometimes you can talk yourself into that, because I know sometimes I will feel anxious, but if I tell myself it's an adventure, then that seems less intimidating. So that's the way I kind of go into a networking event. It's an opportunity to have a conversation.
Absolutely. Thank you, Holly.
Oh, you're welcome.
It looks like we had a question come into the Q&A. So Josh is wondering, do you recommend making a video intro on LionLink?
Yes, I think that's a good idea. But go ahead and practice it first, and then I would have someone else critique it for you. And so you're not just one time, just have it very planned out. Make sure your lighting is good. Make sure that, like I said, someone takes a look at it for you and gives you some good feedback. Do you have any, we have not used that a lot, Lauren, and with our alums. Do you have any suggestions on that one way or another?
Yeah, I mean, I think that just exactly what you said, just make sure you have good lighting, make sure that you're making eye contact with the camera. So when the person who is viewing your video intro, it looks like you're talking directly to them. I would say make it like, you know, just having that kind of conversation, that 30-second introduction to who you are, what you're looking for. And that's something I would also encourage, like if you wind up doing before you graduate, you can easily make an appointment with a career coach through our office, the Career Enrichment Network. If you go on to Nittany Lion Careers, and we can review that for you, as well as anything related to Lion Link, LinkedIn, or anything that Holly had talked about today. So good question.
Yeah.
Great. It doesn't look like there's any other questions that have come in, but
Okay.
I think that this was wonderful, Holly. I love this presentation just because I think that it's so important for you all to know that Penn State does not go away after you graduate. Alumni Career Services is here to support you, in addition to a whole host of the resources that they offer. Oh, Josh just put into the chat, where do I go to make a meeting with your office? So you can actually make that meeting on nittanyLionCareers.psu.edu. You already have an account as a student, and you will continue to have an account as an alum. So you just log in there. You'll probably have to fill out some information if it's your first time logging on. And then on the left-hand side, you'll see the counseling tab, and you can make an appointment with any of the career coaches that are available or listed there. But if you want someone specific to liberal arts, just look for liberal arts after their name, including me. And I'm happy to meet with you. So
I'm going to add my name and email. If you have any questions, you want to talk about career services, anything that I can help you with, please feel free to email me. I'm happy to chat with you to see, to help you navigate the next few months, because it is a big change.
Yeah, it is. It can be. So I asked a student earlier today, like, how are you feeling about upcoming graduation? And he said, well, I'm feeling sad and happy and overwhelmed and excited. So it's all of these emotions kind of coming into one. So I'll also add my email address down there too. So if you have trouble making an appointment through Nittany Lion Careers, you can also chat with me as well. But yes, thank you, Holly, so much for your expertise and the wonderful presentation. I really appreciate it. Remember, for all of those who are here, tomorrow we're doing things I wish I knew before starting my first job. And I'm just going to share my screen real quick again, just so you can see the website. So you can go to la.psu.edu/commencement for more information. And just a final reminder to complete your senior survey. So, all right, well, hopefully we see you all soon or hear from you soon. But Holly, again, thank you so much. And
Lauren, you're welcome. Thank you so much for having me. I enjoy your liberal arts group. Great.
I appreciate it.
Students.
I appreciate it. All right. Well, have a good day, everyone. Thanks again.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.